Ladies and gentlemen, it's January 20th. You know what that means. I know what that means. Hold on a second, let me close my curtain here real quick. I think we all know what that means. And what that means is Arknights Endfield on the 22nd of January will be playable for everyone across all platforms. Finally, I will be able to get my hands on the game that I have not been able to access any of their closed beta tests whatsoever. I will finally be able to play the game that I have been so excited for quite literally years. I will be able to play the game that everyone, for some reason, has just a little bit of a problem with. Well, I'm not really going to be throwing drama at you guys. I'm mostly going to be talking about how much I'm looking forward to the game and how much I'm sick and tired of seeing certain things like, I can't believe Arknights did this. This is the horrific, horrifying truth of Arknights. The Arknights is the big problem. Arknights has a big problem.
One glaring issue about Arknights Endfield.
You don't know the truth about Arknights Endfield. Here's the truth about Arknights Endfield.
This is what Hypergriff is not telling you about Arknights Enfield's gotcha.
Hello. I'd actually like to report that the Arknights Endfield game pulled me over. They pulled me out of my car and they beat the shit out of me and they stole my car. So, yeah, if we can get somebody on that. Anyways, I just went on this huge rant that I don't know if I'm gonna keep in or just completely remove. I may have went off the deep end there, I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, Arknights Endfield is going to be coming out very, very soon. It's going to be playable for everybody on the 22nd of January, and I personally can't wait to see all of the characters, to see all of the environments, to see how exactly my community is going to be building bases, to see how exactly my own base is going to come across. I can't wait to explore Talos 2. I can't wait to be able to just do everything that I had seen and that was shown to me in the reveal streams and the trailers and this and that. And you know what? There's actually a part of me that really appreciates the fact that I wasn't able to play any of the beta tests. I did see some things here and there, but I never actually sat down and fully watched a YouTuber or a streamer or anybody else play through Arknights Endfield. I just watched one of my boys play it for a little bit, and that was that. And we didn't even get very far when it came to me watching him play it. We went through the beginning section, and then he did a little bit afterward, and then after that, I just stopped watching him, effective immediately. Now, what are some things that I'm looking forward to? What are some things that I'm concerned about? And what are some other things that I feel like could really, really help Arknights Endfield in the future? So some things that I'm actually looking forward to when it comes to Arknights is being able to just simply run around with every single character out at the same time. Now, I know that I've mentioned this so many times, but I feel like not enough people actually mention this. I'm sick and tired of it whenever I see it in Punishing Grey Raven, whenever I see it in Wuthering Waves, whenever I see it in Genshin Impact, whenever I see it in Honkai Star Rail, whenever I see it in Memento White Memory, whatever that game is that's like Honkai Star Rail, but a little bit worse. I'm sick and tired of seeing it in Zenless Zone Zero. I'm sick and tired of seeing it in Honkai Impact 3rd. I'm sick and tired of seeing it in any fucking game where you have to fucking character swap and you only have one character out. I hate it. I genuinely hate that so much. Now, do I hate it so much that it makes me not play those games? Well, no, not at all. I'll still play those games because there's a lot more aspects to those games that I genuinely enjoy. But I'm really glad that Arknights Endfield went out of their way to make it to where all of those characters that you have are going to be out at the same time on your team, and that it's very easy to play as all of them at the same time. Now, I know I've mentioned this game series plenty and plenty of times before, but I love Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. I love X-Men Rise of Apocalypse and X-Men Legends. Those PS2 games is what made me love having groups of characters run around and complete missions together while all of them are out and working together. Those are things that I genuinely enjoy. There's a reason why I played Aethergazer more than I probably should have, because all of the characters were out fighting at the same time. And now I'm going to be able to actually explore entire levels that are actually very, very well made within Arknights Endfield. This is the main thing that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to sitting down at night and listening to all their ASMR footsteps all together. I'm interested in hearing the dialogue that some characters might have that may be unique if they're a part of the same faction or if they're friends within lore. I'm looking forward to seeing them respond to each other's comments. I'm looking forward to a lot of things when it comes to this game that revolves around the 4 characters being out all at once. I want to know if it's possible for people to do challenges where you only have 3 people, where you only have 2 people out, you and your special partner. There's a lot of things that I'm hoping that happens. And now, speaking of that, I'm actually really hoping that they go down the Code Vein route if they ever decide that they want to introduce multiplayer to Arknights Endfield. I feel like that's something that's actually going to be really cool for the game in itself. If somebody ends up joining your world, it's going to take away one of the character slots so that that player and their follower will be able to be with you, the player 1 of your world, along with your follower. And I feel like that would be really cool. You'll never end up actually feeling alone when you split up in co-op, all whilst you're still able to talk to one another, but you still have your ally, even if they are in the form of an AI, following you around and just overall having at least some form of synergy if they ever do decide to add some kind of multiplayer. And if there is multiplayer in the game, well, just let me know how it is, because like I said, I haven't really watched anything gameplay wise aside from the beginning and a little bit after the beginning, but I really do hope that they end up doing that, because I would love to play with my friends in this game and seeing their favorite characters along with my favorite characters all working together and all of us just exploring with our little group where all of them are actually out and completing. Now, since I've already finished touching up on the things that I really am looking forward to about all the characters being out and a potential multiplayer and how it actually could work, here are some other things that I'm actually looking forward to as well that I feel like is indeed going to be a reality. Now, obviously there's going to be a lot more regions that are going to be released, and I'm hoping that Arknights Endfield is going to be able to be so successful that by the time, let's say, patch 2.0 or 3.0 comes out, we start actually getting really massive regions for us to explore. Maybe 1 or 2 massive regions. We don't need every single region inside the game to be the most massive thing ever. But I hope that we end up getting a lot of legacy dungeons, and if you don't know what a legacy dungeon is, I hope that we get plenty of chances to go through these long levels that have a lot of secrets, and it's mostly linear, just like how it is in games like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, stuff like that. You know, the firm soft formula. I hope that we do end up getting that. Now, I do understand to some degree that we are indeed getting that. There are going to be some legacy dungeons, as I like to call them, that's going to be available in the game, and I'm actually hoping that we end up getting some really advanced ones and some really cool ones down the line in the future, because I would love to explore secret ruins and do all these things and yada yada yada. I hope that we end up exploring a whole bunch of underground stuff when it comes to a desert region, because I'm not gonna lie, I actually did enjoy the whole underground stuff and the King Desherate stuff for Genshin Impact a good amount of years ago. And honestly, speaking of Genshin, it feels like Genshin is like a million years old now, so yeah. But anyways, that's actually one of the things that I'm looking forward to when it comes to the game itself. Now, when it comes to the combat and the base building, I am hoping that the combat doesn't end up outshining the base building, and the base building doesn't really outshine the combat. I hope that both of them end up evolving equally, because as I had saw and as it was explained to me, I saw that the base building and the combat had equal amounts of depth put into both of them. And I really hope that one doesn't end up severely outshining the other. I hope that they end up having the same amounts of care put into both, so that Arknights Endfield would be able to bring in an even more massive amount of people, so that the community can be super large and that Hypergroup will be able to make a whole bunch more money, which means better updates, better characters, yada yada yada. You know how it is. Now, I do have an understanding that there are some people that want the base building to be more advanced and be more important than the combat, and some people who want the combat to be more important and more advanced than the base building, but I'm more so of a guy that likes both of them equally, so I hope that they both evolved at the same pace. Now, speaking of bases, something that I actually do genuinely hope that they end up doing, unless it's been added already, you can question me in the comments, is the fact that I hope that the base building actually allows us to build enterable buildings. I want us to be able to add things like hallways, make our own lounges maybe, just make our own base of operations in different areas, so it always feels like we have a home away from home whenever it is that we're going to the different regions. We are colonizing this moon, so I'm actually hoping that that we can make certain areas that are our favorite places that can be livable. And I hope that it would be easy to traverse between these homes, and I hope that each home is different. I hope that each region ends up offering different materials so that our bases don't look the same throughout every single region. I hope that we end up getting some kind of special rock or metal found in a desert region. I hope that we find some kind of special ore inside some kind of mountains in like a snowy region. I hope that the aesthetic of each base in each different region ends up being different, and I hope that they all have their own unique flair, style, and taste to them, because I feel like that would be very, 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 very obsessing over for people that love building their own bases, especially when they want to be unique and make their base into their own image. I hope that these factories that get made isn't only just strictly going to be for production in the future. I hope that eventually it can also be for production, but also for some leisurely pleasures as well. And now I know I sound extremely incredibly excited about this. I haven't really been yapping this consistently straightforward about something that I like or I have been looking forward to for a long time, but it's really hard to contain myself. I hope that the designs for the characters in the future end up being, you know, not too different than what we ended up getting in Arknights. But then again, when it comes to that point, Arknights, like the first game, has a myriad of different kinds of designs and different kinds of characters and stuff. And something that I think that Arknights Endfield will be able to really get away with is I don't think that they have to necessarily stick with a particular aesthetic when it comes to the characters in that game, because if we look over to a lot of the Arknights characters in general from their first game, a lot of their designs, when you start looking between all of them, I wouldn't say they're all over the place, but there's so many regions and factions in there that you might as well say they're all over the place. Think of it as organized chaos, in my opinion, when it comes to the designs of the characters. And I suppose it also doesn't help that there were several different kinds of artists that was actually working on the characters when it came to Arknights, as it would be for pretty much most games. But, you know, you could really tell that some of those artists ended up putting in their own styles for the visual aspect of the PNGs for the Arknights characters. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I'm hoping that eventually there's some kind of event or some kind of lore reason where some kind of time anomaly will happen, and hopefully we'll be able to get special guest playable characters from the original Arknights placed in Endfield. And I know that all of the Arknights members would actually appreciate that a lot, me included, because I want to actually see LaPlante and Texas start fucking shit up in 3D and watching them run around together and stand together, take pictures of both of them standing together, you know, just real G shit, making, you know, some Italian, Syracusan, Mafian type pizza shit, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, since we're actually super close to this release, only in just 2 days, for the entire world of being able to experience this game, you let me know what it is that you're looking forward to, you let me know what it is that you want, and you let me know if this game is something that you see yourself playing for the long term, or if this is a game that you'll probably play on the side, but you're just gonna stick with your main game that's free or not free, or whatever the case. But anyways, I love and appreciate you guys. I want you all to take care, and peace.